Welcome back to What If Goku and Kakarot Were Different People. I'm enjoying this series, hope you are too. With that being said, let's get into the future. As Vegeta left, Goku and Kakarot both look at each other. As Goku would ask what happened, Kakarot would say, I don't know, but Vegeta achieved a Super Saiyan. I've heard about it in Legends, but I didn't think it was true. I don't know how he achieved it though. One of the Namekians would look up at them and say he achieved it by a wish. So then Kakarot had an idea. He could wish to be a Super Saiyan, but first they will have to wish back on the Namekians that died. So it's going to take about a year at least, or 2 years technically, since it takes a year for it to reset. And then we cut to Vegeta. Vegeta would have traveled to King Cold's planet, or Frieza's old planet. Since Vegeta straight up destroyed Frieza's head, there's no way he could come back as Mecha Frieza. As Vegeta landed on the planet, he would start to destroy building after building, trying to lure people out. Suddenly, the Ginyu Force would appear, as Captain Ginyu would want to take Vegeta's body, but Vegeta would kill him before he even had a chance, as Vegeta would fly down and cut off his head instantly, as Captain Ginyu fell down as a corpse. The rest of the Ginyu Force would charge at Vegeta, but Vegeta would dodge them and begin to destroy them, one by one, killing them off. As suddenly King Cold would appear. Well, Vegeta, it seems you've gotten stronger. Vegeta would suddenly smirk as his hair turned yellow. King Cold would say, what kind of a cheap trick is this? Vegeta would laugh and say, it's not a trick, King Cold. I have become what your family has feared. I have become the legendary Super Saiyan. King Cold began to shake in fear for a second, but then he smirked. Nice try. You think because you learned some technique where you turn your hair yellow you can fool me? You're trying to scare me away with this legendary Super Saiyan bullshit. Well, guess what? I'm not gonna fall for it. Suddenly, Vegeta would simply kick him to the floor. As King Cold looked up, Vegeta would begin to pulverize King Cold. It's not a trick. I am Vegeta, the legendary Super Saiyan. As King Cold began to get more and more beat up, he began to get on his knees and beg for mercy. Please, Vegeta, please, we can work together. We can rule the universe side by side. Vegeta would laugh and say, why would I need you when I can rule it all by myself? As he would blast a hole in King Cold's chest, he would fall down and slowly bleed out, dying, as Vegeta would build his own empire. Meanwhile, we cut to Kakarot and Goku. Things would be going well after they wished back the Namekians. They had to wait a whole year, but shortly after, Goku would come down of something and die. Since Vegeta was out in space, there would be no future Trunks, meaning no heart virus medicine, so Goku would simply die of the heart virus. And with Goku dead and everyone mourning, the androids would appear. Kakarot would be at Capsule Court. Kakarot and Bulma had sort of an on and off relationship fling, and Kakarot was starting to like her, and he was thinking about asking her out, but he didn't know if he should. As he was watching TV though, suddenly he would hear about a city being completely destroyed, but he couldn't sense any power levels. Maybe it was Vegeta hiding his power level. He thought maybe it was him. It had to be him. It seemed like he was back to show off his true power. As Kakarot would start to fly there, Piccolo and the others would all start to follow him. He looked at Gohan and said, Gohan, go back to your mother's, but no. I don't want you to be in danger, alright? We don't know how strong Vegeta's gotten, and you can't get hurt. He looks up. Gohan would be a little annoyed, but he would reluctantly agree to go back. As the Z Fighters landed, it was 17 and 18. Kakarot would say, who are you and why are you doing this? 17 would say, we're androids. And all that matters is we like to have fun. As the battle began, Chaozu would begin to fly at him, but 17 would blow him up. As 17 looked, Tien would begin to use a tri-beam on 18, but then 18 would get up and punch a hole through his stomach, killing him. It was a bloodbath. The Z-Fighters were killed one by one until it was just Kakarot and Piccolo. They would both start to pant, as 18 would say, any last words? You men are quite boring. I wish you were stronger. Piccolo then got an idea. As they continued the fight, the battle was not going in their favor, to say the least. Kakarot and Piccolo were getting pulverized. Kakarot began to yell, it's not fair, it's not fair. After everything, we go out like this? To two people I just met? After all that training, after all that fighting, after all of that, the mighty Kakarot did? Here and now? I refuse for that to be over. As he began to yell, 18 would say, "You men are loud," as she would kick him in the arm, causing him to fall down, his arm broken. As he fell to the ground, 17 would then punch Piccolo to the ground. As they were about to kill them both, Piccolo looked up and said, "Wait, let us live. You want a challenge, right? If you let me live, I can show you a good fight. I know a way to get much stronger." 17 and 18 looked at him intrigued. As 17 stopped charging his ki blast, "I'm listening. Just follow me and you'll have the fight of your life." Kakarot and Piccolo both got up and began to go to the lookout, as 17 and 18 both followed them. As Kami would look at them, Kami would say, You did it! How could you, Piccolo? Bring them here!" 17 says, "I hope that's not a problem." Piccolo would say, "You know what we need to do. It's the only way." Kami would be hesitant, but he had to do it. As Piccolo and Kami began to walk up to each other, Kakarot would eat a senzu bean and heal, as suddenly Piccolo would grab Kami's arm, as they would both pull into each other and begin to scream. 17 said, "What was going on here?" As suddenly they would both fuse into one being. 17 felt his power skyrocket as Piccolo smirked. "Now I think I'm strong enough to defeat you." As suddenly Piccolo would punch 17. As 17 and Piccolo both began the battle, 18 was about to jump in, but then Kakarot grabbed her arm and said, "No. We have a score to settle." 18 would simply laugh. "I broke your arm easily. You think you could defeat me?" Typical men, thinking with their fists, not with their head. Kakarot would continue the battle 18, but he was getting pulverized, as Piccolo was actually winning against 17, since the future androids were weaker. Kakarot could feel the humiliation pumping through his veins. He was a Saiyan. He was the great Kakarot. How can he lose? As suddenly he would look at her and say, "I don't think with my fist because I'm human, because I'm a man. It's because I'm a Saiyan. I am a proud Saiyan warrior, and you killed my friends. You almost took my best friend, Piccolo. First my brother dies, now this? Screw that! I refuse to lose! I refuse to lose to you!" Suddenly, his hair would start to turn blonde, as his eyes turned pure green, as he transformed into a true-blooded Super Saiyan. As Kakarot looked at 18, 18 said, What was this? There's nothing in my sensors about it." Kakarot said, "There's nothing in your sensors, because I am a legendary Super Saiyan, and I have came for one purpose, to destroy you," as he punched 18. But Kakarot was not stronger than 18 still, but at least he was able to somewhat keep up in the Super Saiyan form. Meanwhile, we cut back to Piccolo and 17. Piccolo would be outclassed in 17, but Piccolo knew he had to finish this soon, because 17 had infinite stamina. Piccolo looked at 17 and say, "I was planning to use this move on Vegeta, but here it goes." As he would fire Ki Blaster, Ki Blaster, Ki Blaster, Ki Blast, 17 would begin to dodge it all and laugh. "Really? That's your special move? Just spamming out Ki Blast? Really? You were gonna use that on Vegeta? You're so pathetic." But then suddenly, Piccolo would smirk and say, "Hell Zone Grenade!" as all of the Ki Blasts would go and hit 17, killing him. This would piss off 18, as 18 would grab Kakarot and throw him to the floor. He was Super Saiyan, but she was still slightly stronger. Goku would decide to shoot a Kame with all of his power, with everything he had, saying, "This is for you, brother. This is your technique." As 18 began to catch it, Piccolo was behind her as he charged up a special beam cannon, and he shot it right into her skull, killing her. As a Ki Blast went through, 18 and 17 were dead. As Kakarot turned back to his base form and fell to the floor. We did it." Piccolo would say, "Yeah, but I don't know. What do you mean?" Piccolo would sigh. "With me and Kami fused, there's no more Dragon Balls. We'll have to get a new Guardian Earth, but going all the way to planet Namek is risky because of Vegeta. He might have even blown it up. I mean, think about it. With all that going on, is it really safe to go out into space?" Kakarot would say no, but I gotta do something. A couple of days would pass as Kakarot would hug Bulma and kiss her, as he would say, "Please go out with me." Bulma would blush, as she would say, "Yeah, and I have something too. You remember how we hooked up a couple of days ago?" Kakarot would nod, as Bulma would give him a pregnancy test. It says positive. Bulma says, "Do you still want to be with me?" Kakarot would look at the test and think, as he said, "Yeah, I will. I'm positive," as he would laugh, as Bulma hugged him, and then he said, "Oh, what does positive mean?" Bulma looked at Kakarot and said, "Are you serious?" Kakarot would say, "No, I really don't know what this means." Kakarot would just be confused, as Bulma looked at him mad. "It means I'm pregnant, idiot." "Pregnant? Kakarot said, shocked. So we're gonna have a, yeah. Kakarot then grab her and lift her up in the air. I'm gonna be a dad. I'm gonna be a dad. Yay! As Bulma laughed, and they both hugged each other. Kakarot says, I hope he's a true-blooded Saiyan warrior like me. Bulma says, if you push our son too hard into violence, I will kill you. As Kakarot would laugh nervously. And that is going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please tell me, how do you think this series will go in the future? Will they get to Namek, or did the Namekians wish to move Namek like in canon? Will they ever find it? Will anyone ever be brought back? How will the Buu Saga go? What about Cell? Who knows? We will have to find out by watching the series. Bum. Goodbye.